So, did anyone watch a video a few days ago about poorly baby calf who was really sick and couldn't stand up? This is him now. No, Hoofles. No, he doesn't need your input. Get it. So he basically, he has a cyst under here. Can you see? And this is his navel. He had a little one when he arrived, and then gradually it got worse and worse. So he's been on 2 courses of antibiotics already to try and shrink the cyst before the vet can do anything with it. And she's also given it a scan with like an ultrasound machine that you would use on a pregnant woman to see what is inside there. So we do not journey to the feed store 3 times a week because we like to go and see Becky, even though she's lovely. We go to the feed store 3 times a week because we do not have a tower. Now, although this here was 600 quid and it does relieve a little bit of pressure, it'll hold 1 dumpy bag, well, nearly 1 dumpy bag of feed. The fear is that we get a tower and we put it in the wrong place, or it's the wrong size, or it's the wrong brand. And that's kind of where we're at the minute. Everything that we're doing, we're going, oh, I don't want to do that wrong, so I won't do it yet. And that's just one of the trials of transitioning to a dairy farm, trying to get things right first time to save money. Because we all know that if you have to change something later on, it's going to be costly. So yeah, the shed might look excessive, the front isn't finished, but we don't know where the doors are going to be. So that's why it's like that. Oh, listen to that case purr. Arr. Like, I'm not one to feel inferior, but come on. So Roy is ringing the knacker man, and they will come and they will take the dead sheep away, and she will be rendered down into useful things like oil for your car, that kind of thing. So that's one of the most common questions I get asked. That's one of the... Who says that asked? EastEnders, I knew it was someone. So it's one of the most common questions that I get asked when I show a dead animal is, can you not eat it? The answer is definitely no. Definitely no. And obviously that animal was dead overnight. We don't know what it's died of. All its muscles are seized up. It's got rigor mortis. It's not very nice. Definitely not fit for human consumption. So it goes away to the knacker man, and they take it to a place in Halifax and will be rendered down at a rendering plant, and you'll get like purified fat out of it and then ground protein out of the other lot. It's quite an unpalatable subject, but it's actually really interesting because your oil and things that come out of the animals actually goes to make green energy and biofuel, things like that. Don't listen, but it goes into makeup. Like shaving cream, deodorant, and a massive one is like industrial uses like paint and fertilizer. So honestly, the body is not a waste. When something's died, that is not the end of the story. There's a lengthy one after that. You are not allowed to bury animals, and that is mostly due to issues with watercourses and stuff. You are, however, allowed to bury pets. Just there where the sheep are stood. That is my mum and dad's horses, Smarty and Solo. God rest their soul. It used to be about 130 quid to get a cow taken away, and because it's become so useful as like a biofuel and a byproduct of like the rendering process, it's now 30 quid. And a sheep is £8. So there is no excuse not to get your animals disposed of correctly. Yeah, so it just takes away that second kick if you've had something die and then you get a massive bill for it. So now it's not, the cost isn't so much the issue, it's more the issue of just, you know, the animal dying. Who is it? Does anyone else do this? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? We dream the same dream, we want the same thing. Oh! I am the furthest travelled horse to the AHDB thing, where it's just pointed out in the racing post. There used to be a segment that said where the horses had come from. On the road again, I can't wait to be on the road again. Is that it, in for winter? Yes.
End of the month. Take care, Anne.
Bye. In for winter, that is it. So we just saved a phone call. We saw the knacker naggin on the road behind them cows that were coming in. So Roy just rolled his window down and I was like, oh yeah, and he'll just call in and pick them dead sheep up. So that saved like 0.03 pence of a phone call, hasn't it? This is my butcher's, in it, and they're well fit.
We're on the bus park and there's a bus trying to park.
Oh my God. So ideally this is exactly what we want. Right, tell me the story and then I'll tell it. So when Roy was in year 7, bear in mind he's 38, this building here was £2,100. And it came from Warings at Rear Green, and that was for the kit, so that was for the roof sheets, the steel and the Yorkshire board, but this inside, the blocks, were not included. They had a fella come called John, and he was a plasterer, but he laid the blocks, so if you look, the walls are actually like this, but he was a good plasterer. And all of the blocks that Big Roy got had bottoms in them, so Roy's job was to knock all the bottoms out of them because they needed to put rebar in to strengthen it. So his house at school, the class had full attendance, and it was like the last week of term, and Roy decided to take the week off to knock all the bottoms out of these blocks and took the house points away. Tell you what, you know, if you take time off school now to do something like that, we'd be in trouble. Kitty catcher! The child welfare officer. They'd call it slave labour. It'd be like literally imprisoning your children and making them work for no pay. Baby bobcat. This is why we like this baby bobcat when we're mucking out here, because you can see the buildings are a lot smaller than our house. And it can fit places. That is why we like a baby bobcat. So you might be wondering why we stock so many dairy animals when we are a beef and sheep farm. So these are what we are going to farm in the transitional period between the Jerseys and the beef cows. So everything here is loose housed, and this is a rough muck system. This is what it's meant to look like. This here is perfect, wonderful rough muck. This is for Big Roy's garden. And this is what it does look like. We can't heap it up because it's so wet, but it's entirely our own fault because we had some first year seeds, and instead of putting it in the pit, we baled it up, and that's what we're feeding to the cows, so it's just making them runny. It's not the end of the world. It was purely down to like the price of diesel, and we didn't choose to ted it, so it didn't dry out quite as much as we would have hoped. It just means a lot more straw and hard work and mucking out for us, to be fair, but actually it's good stuff and they're enjoying it and they're doing well off it. The only person losing out is us. Oh yes. Feels like summer. Do, 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 do. Can I just say as well, before I go home and forget to do the end of this video, can I just say thanks to Ollie? Like, not only did I have the most amazing time and was made to feel really welcome, when actually I was on the back foot. I'm not a massive creator. Yeah, I've got a big TikTok following, but if you're in social media, you will know it's not as valuable as the other guys. But he made me feel like I was really a part of it. We had an absolute, honest to God, we had a laugh and a half. It was hilarious. I feel like I've known him for years. I think it's a Lancashire thing, maybe. But yesterday he put me on one of his videos, and I know a lot of you that are watching this now will have seen me through him, and I just wanted to thank him because actually it's made a hell of a difference. My watch hours went from 1,600 to nearly 3,000 overnight, which is just, yeah, it's unbelievable. So yeah, thanks for the handout, Ollie. I'll buy you beer. Or I felt your dog or something, I don't know. Feels like summer. Do, 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 do. So I sit down to eat my dinner and I open the paper and this is in it. And there's always something there to remind me. Do. Seriously though, that is an on-point article. On point. Just gonna stick my tractors up. We dream the same dream, we want the same thing. Oh. Here you go. So I've just come to see how sheep are getting on. We have 7 yellow bums in here. So he's getting on all right. He's maybe hoping for a little bit faster, but do you know what? That scab could have knocked him back a little bit. Especially the stress of being dipped and ran around and things like that. So yeah, at least he's working. Don't really fancy losing it because I've decided to video it. This is the raddle. Everything's upside down. This is the tup. So this is one of the Dutch spotted tups. Just re-raddled his belly. And you can see when he jumps on a girl, leaves a mark on the bottom so that we know when he's topped something. I just love him. Love him. This is really interesting to me. So this tup has been in this field with these sheep for about, I think about 5 days, right? And here's tups, 1, 2, 4, possibly 5, right? The sheep that had the teaser tup in, they have all been in for 2 days, and each of them has tupped more sheep in that time than this one has, who's been in longer. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it does actually work. And we end up getting a bit of a tighter lambing window. Oh, it's getting dark now, and me and Winnie Hoof are just gone feed some cows. He's going to do the milk for the calves. And thank you for watching. If you've got all the way to the end of this, that's amazing. Let me know in the comments what you prefer. Do you prefer the music and the slow-mo, or do you prefer the more simplified version, just like this, where it's taken me 10 minutes to make it, and the other ones take about an hour? So yeah, let me know what you think. Say bye, Win.